Live from clickorlando.com and WKMG, we're getting results in your neighborhood now at 6 a.m.
Breaking now on News 6 Mornings, deputies say an hours-long standoff ends with a suspect shot, a mother fighting for her life, and a child finally out of harm's way. Plus, what is now dubbed as the largest IT outage in history starts the weekend off in chaos. Jobs were postponed, planes were grounded, and the outage even hit close to home here at News 6, proving just how much we all depend on the internet on a day-to-day basis. Good morning, Central Florida. You're watching News 6 Getting Results. I'm Emily McLeod.
And thanks for waking up with us on this Saturday. I'm meteorologist Michelle Morgan.
It's going to be really hot today. You're saying have the ponchos ready for those afternoon showers. For me, a poncho is really hard to think about in the humidity, the plastic just
sticking to you,
and it's hot, but you got to do what you got to do, right?
That doesn't sound fun.
I know. Leave it to me to think of the sensory.
Yeah, no, I really don't go out much, so I stay where the air conditioner is found. But yeah, if you're planning anything today, I know a lot of folks are visiting from out of town, so if you're visiting Central Florida, welcome. It is going to be hot today, and then we're looking at those storms popping up after 2 today. So as you take a live look outside, downtown Orlando looking gorgeous as a nice and quiet start. Not tracking any rain. This camera shot from our Light Orlando delivering Hope camera, so everything is looking pretty good to kick off our weekend. As we take a look at the satellite and radar imagery, again, I zoomed everything out so we have a better look at what's going on. Everything looking pretty good. We have a low pressure system off to our north and west. It's not going to affect us at all, but I do want to draw your attention to our Bermuda high here. It's right behind me. There it is, that little H there. That's going to keep our winds out of the south and southeast today. So that means because of the direction of the winds, that's going to continue to increase the humidity as we go through the weekend heading into the upcoming work week. Temperatures, again, we're looking pretty good. It feels really nice outside. We're at 77 degrees now in Orlando. Good morning. Claremont at 79. The Villages, you're at 75. Ocala at 74, and then our coastal communities here, 81 in Cocoa Beach, 80 in Cape Canaveral. Really nice start to our weekend. Here's a look at your outdoor forecast featuring our pet of the hour. This is Ozzy, totally judging us right now, but adorable cat. This was sent in from Renee in Sanford. Again, a gorgeous cat you have. I love cats, love all animals. So again, send in your pets. We'll feature them through the show. clickorlando.com/pins. But as we look at your hour-by-hour forecast, starting off mild and muggy, we're in the middle 80s by 10 with a mix of sunshine and clouds. Now through the morning, it's going to stay nice and dry, but keep in mind by lunch we'll be in the upper 80s, feeling like the upper 90s, and then temperatures continue to climb into the upper 90s today, feeling like the triple digits, feeling like 105 to 111 degrees in a few locations. Beach forecast looking good if that's your plan for today. Lower 90s, water temperatures in the lower 80s, UV index relatively high, and the rip current risk today, we're at that moderate level. So coming up in a bit, we're going to continue to take a look at those forecast highs and also time out those showers and storms.
All right, Michelle, thank you. Breaking overnight, an hours-long standoff ends in gunfire. Deputies say a child is safe this morning, but the child's mother is in critical condition. This was the scene last night at 6809 Colony Oaks Lane in Pine Hills. Deputies say they were called to the house after a man reportedly shot and stabbed the mother of his child. Deputies say he stayed inside the house with the child for hours with a gun and refused to surrender.
We negotiated with him for several hours, and he still refused to surrender. At one point, fearing for the safety of the child, our SWAT officers saw him holding a gun and the baby, shot and killed the man.
This morning, we're told the child is okay and was not hurt during the standoff. We will be checking on the mother's condition today. At last check, she is in critical condition at the hospital. The deputies who fired their weapons are on paid administrative leave, which is standard protocol in cases like this. All right, y'all, I'm sorry if this image is a little triggering, whether it reminds you of work on this Saturday morning or it reminds you of the major wide-scale internet disruption yesterday. You might have seen this image of what's informally called a blue screen of death on your computer yesterday. In fact, this blue screen was on most computers around the world. Businesses, hospitals, government offices, and even our own newsroom were knocked offline due to a flawed update. Now, this morning, CrowdStrike says the situation is almost fully resolved.
It's not, unfortunately, a very quick fix.
It's the biggest global IT outage that we've ever seen in the world, and definitely a black eye moment for CrowdStrike.
CrowdStrike is a Texas-based cybersecurity company. Officials say the problem happened when it sent a faulty update to computers running Microsoft Windows. Now, one of the biggest impacts across the country happened to travelers. Flights from several airlines like United, Delta, and American were grounded and rescheduled to today. In total, over 70 flights yesterday at Orlando International Airport were delayed and nearly 65 were canceled. So if you're headed to the airport, expect a bit more traffic this weekend. Officials at MCO send out a statement saying, quote, "Our team is working closely with our airline partners to assist their customers with passenger movement and convenience in the terminal."
We walked down here and it's the smell. You could smell it a block away.
You can smell the burning.
Developing now, a fire destroys a home, but this morning the question officials are asking is what caused it. Now crews are picking at the extensive damage and working to figure out what caused the fire to make sure it doesn't happen again. News 6's Troy Campbell talked with neighbors who say it sounded like something exploded. Turning now to a missing persons alert out of Brevard County. Police are asking for your help in finding a teen they say has been missing for almost 2 months now. According to police, 16-year-old Atreya Barati was last seen on May 24th on Ocaso Lane in Rockledge. Rockledge police say they believe she could be in danger. If you see her, you're asked to call 911 immediately. In results 2024, a continued call from more than 30 Democrats for President Biden to step aside on the campaign trail. It all comes as the president recovers from his recent COVID diagnosis. Now, even though his campaign insists he isn't going anywhere, that is not really the same story behind closed doors. This weekend, President Biden issued a statement saying he was, quote, looking forward to getting back on the campaign trail next week. Top campaign officials continued to defend him.
This is definitely a hard period for the campaign, but when the president has been out there talking to voters, we have multiple pathways to victory, and we can do that by really reaching these voters.
No word yet on where exactly the president plans to campaign next week, but we will have more updates on former President Trump's rally plans today, coming up at the bottom of the hour. Turning now to a unique way, one shelter is working to make sure animals find their forever homes. The Halifax Humane Society in Daytona Beach says they are willing to pay you to help them out. This means getting families to foster the dogs and giving them the chance to get out of the shelter and decompress.
As the dogs are in the shelter, they stay longer and longer and longer, and their behaviors start to deteriorate, and sometimes that makes them even unadoptable.
Officials say this foster method also helps with adoptions. The foster family can report to the shelter new information about habits and behavior, which helps better market the animals. Now, if you're interested, here's how this all works. You get $50 for fostering, and when you're out and about with the dog, if someone meets it and wants to adopt it, you can get $250 for helping out with that. The shelter is open 7 days a week for anyone who wants to stop by. We have more information on our website, clickorlando.com. Time now is 5:09. Let's go ahead and check back in with meteorologist Michelle Morgan. Michelle, it's going to be a hot day at the beach.
Yeah, another hot day. And if you are planning that or a beach day later on this afternoon, even this morning, we're looking good. Rain chances increase later on today, so you may have to dodge a few showers and storms. Talking about the beach, here's a live look outside at Daytona Beach. Dealing with mainly clear skies, winds non-existent, but we're at 77 degrees. Check out the humidity at 96%. You can certainly feel it as you're stepping outside, and the humidity will stay elevated as we go through the entire weekend. Current temperatures across the metro area. Orlando, good morning. You're at 79. Bithlo at 77, as well as Apopka as we head to the villages here at 75 and 79 degrees in Sanford. Our coastal cities, of course, we're not forgetting about you. Another warm start to the morning here. 80 in Cape Canaveral, 81 in Cocoa Beach, and Melbourne at 79. So as you take a look at your hour-by-hour forecast, again, temperatures are going to heat up quickly today. We'll be in the middle 80s by 10, feeling like the upper 90s. But check this out. By this afternoon, we'll be in the upper 90s, near record heat. Once again, with our feels like temperatures reaching 106 to 107 degrees. So just make sure you're being careful while you're outside. And then the rain chances, again, increase later on today to 60%. So some of us might see that cooling rain. Forecast highs, 96 in Sanford, 94 here in DeLand, 96 in Claremont, the villages at 93. And we stay in the lower 90s in Melbourne, Cocoa Beach, New Smyrna Beach, and Daytona Beach. Of course, with the feels like temperatures, feeling like 111 degrees in Leesburg, 108 in Claremont, Claremont, Kissimmee 107 if you are heading out to the theme parks there, and 109 degrees in Titusville. So coming up in a bit, in my full forecast, I'm going to time out those showers and storms for you.
All right, Michelle, thank you. You can keep up with the forecast 24/7 with our free News 6 Pinpoint Weather app. Just search WKMG in your app store. Coming up, if your mailbox is in rough shape, our handy newsman has the trick how you can replace it yourself in 4 easy steps. First, though,
I thought if I can speak out, if I can accomplish this library will be standing forever.
so sweet. Speaking up to keep the doors of a loved library open, we hear from the little girl with a big voice. Coming up next. You're watching News 6 Mornings. We're getting results for our friends in Daytona Beach Shores, Sanford, and all of Central Florida. We'll be right back.
As a working mom of 2, I know how crucial it is to be ready for any type of weather. From sunny skies or a chance of rain, from tropical storms to hurricanes. So whether the sun's shining or the storms are rolling in, I'm here looking out for you, helping you start your day, staying ahead of the weather, and making your mornings a little brighter. I'm meteorologist Candace Campos. Let's tackle the day together, weekday mornings on News 6.
A decision made in part because of one little girl and her letter. Now take a look right here. Look at this line. I love this. This library is like the first school of my life because I've been here since I was 6 months old. It was story time that taught me how to speak. So we strive to get results here at News 6. That's no secret. And when this young girl heard her favorite library was shutting its doors, she reached out to us to help. The Altamont Springs Library on Maitland Avenue was set to close in the fall because leaders said the budget was too tight. But now that decision is no longer set in stone. News 6's Catherine Silver spoke to the young girl who used her voice to speak up. What a great story to see a community come together and protect the library, something they love so much. And I feel like even though we've gotten so used to computers and phones, I still feel like libraries are a really important part of our communities.
Oh, absolutely. I know I use it, especially if you have small children. You know, they have story time and all kinds of activities, especially with a lot of the, kids are out of school, so they need to do something, right? So libraries are just very important to all communities, so I'm glad that they fought for it.
Yeah, I still have memories of going to the Maitland Library with my dad, and I remember the way it smelled and going in there, and they had like little movies that you could pick out. I remember it so much. So you really do make a lot of memories as a kid, like just like Audrey at your libraries.
I love that.
Libraries are a great way to stay out of the heat too. Like you said, those activities, bringing kids inside, parents can sit inside.
Oh yeah, definitely. It's going to be another hot day, of course, across Central Florida. So if you're planning on heading to the library, great idea, because our heat index values once again will reach 108 to 111 degrees in a few locations. Now, I do want to talk about the Saharan dust. Again, it has returned, and it is slowly moving into the area. You could see it right there on your screen off to the east. So a plume of it will move into our area this weekend. It's going to knock down rain chances tomorrow. But as we go through today, it is going to affect our air quality. There are no advisories or anything or alerts in effect. But if you are sensitive to the dust, my suggestion, try to stay indoors, limit your time outdoors, because that dust is going to hang around for a little bit as we go through the weekend heading into the upcoming work week. Now, the weather setup for today, we don't have any incoming weather systems. All is quiet, a nice quiet start to our weekend, but there is an air of high pressure hanging over the Atlantic, that Bermuda high. That is going to keep our winds out of the south and southwest or southeast as we go through today, increasing the humidity. So it's not only going to be hot, it is going to be muggy. So if you have any outdoor activities, just be careful out in the heat. It can really creep up on you. So current temperatures, Orlando, DeLand, and Daytona Beach, starting off your Saturday morning at 77, and we're looking at 75 here in the Villages, 73 in Wildwood. As we head to our coastal spots, 81 in Cocoa Beach, 80 in Cape Canaveral, and good morning, Melbourne. You're at 78 degrees if you're about to head out the door. If you're planning on heading out to the theme park today, it's going to be a hot day, nice and dry as we go through the morning with a mix of sunshine and clouds. Rain chances begin to increase after lunch, calling for a 60% coverage as we get closer to the 4 or 5 o'clock hour with a high of 97. Now, a few thunderstorms could certainly develop as we go through the afternoon hours. Enough instability in the atmosphere where we could see heavy rain, a ton of lightning, and also gusty winds between 40 to 50 miles per hour. So stay weather aware after 2, 3 o'clock today. Forecast highs will be near record heat in Orlando. My forecast high, 97, that record set back in 1986 of 98. So we'll be close to that. The Villages and Wildwood at 93, Claremont a high of 96, 94 in Titusville, and 90 in Cocoa Beach. Feels like temperatures, that's what it's going to feel like. Find your city. It's going to be a hot day. Feel like a broken record talking about it, but again, be careful in the heat. Timing your day out, looking nice and dry through the morning. Clouds continuing to increase. We get the sea breezes going right along that boundaries where we're going to see scattered rain, heavy downpours in a few locations. We may see nuisance flooding, especially in those low-lying areas, poorly drained areas, and then that's going to last as we head into the 8-9 o'clock hour, and then closer to midnight, we'll begin to see a few of those showers and storms slowly dissipate. Overnight hours nice and dry. Real quick, tropics, not a whole lot going on. Everything is nice and quiet, tracking a few waves over the Caribbean, and that's about it. But those waves are expected to increase our rain chances as we head into our Monday and Tuesday, and the National Hurricane Center hasn't highlighted anything. There's a look at your 7-day forecast, getting your results. 97 today, 60% coverage for showers and storms, 96 tomorrow with a 50%. And rain chances stay elevated all week with daytime highs in the lower to middle 90s.
If your mailbox looks anything like this, I'm going to show you how to swap this out. And trust me, it really is easier than you think. All you need is one of these. I'm Eric Von Eyck, and we're getting results at home coming up.
But first, get those tickets out. Here's a look at the winning numbers from last night's Florida Lottery drawings. Good luck.
News 6 Chief Meteorologist Candace Campos.
Coming up on News 6 Mornings, we're monitoring the latest impacts of the massive internet outage we saw yesterday, how travel plans are still being impacted here locally. Michelle, a lot of meteorologists I saw yesterday had to draw their own graphics because of this outage, but you don't have to do that.
No,
You've
I don't have to do that.
Graphics.
But man, will that take me back to my college days. Yeah, our computer system's still working here. It's going to be another hot day across Central Florida. Check out your feels like temperatures. We're going to be in the triple digits. Some spots reaching 111 degrees. Whew, it's going to be hot. But rain chances go up, so some of us will see that cooling rain. Of course, I'll break it all down coming up in a bit.
You're watching News 6. We'll be right back.
Win tickets to Monster Jam at the Kia Center on August 3rd. News 6 is giving away 5 family 4-packs of tickets. Sign up to be an insider at clickorlando.com/insider to enter. Live from clickorlando.com and WKMG, we're getting results.
Breaking now on News 6 Mornings, the sheriff speaks after deputies shoot and kill a man they say stabbed a woman and then used his child as a human shield. The latest on the hours-long standoff. Plus, the latest in the push to fix a global outage, the CrowdStrike software update that caused a Microsoft fail, and the impacts we're still seeing in the works this morning. Welcome back to the morning news. Time now is 6:30 on your Saturday. You're watching News 6 Getting Results. I'm Emily McLeod, but before we update you on our top stories, meteorologist Michelle Morgan has a quick check of today's forecast. Michelle.
Yeah, it's going to be another hot one across Central Florida. No surprise, but check out your current temperatures. If you are heading out the door, we're in the 70s across Central Florida. It is muggy out there, but thankfully I'm not tracking any rain, so it is a nice and dry start to our morning. As you take a look at your current conditions, Orlando, you're at 77. Good morning. As we head to Kissimmee at 78, 80 in Cape Canaveral, and 81 degrees in Cocoa Beach. Your hour-by-hour forecast for the morning looking pretty good. Here's a look at your out-the-door forecast featuring our pet of the hour. This is Gabby from Tavares, sent in by Karen B. I swear, all of your dogs or pets that you're sending in, they're so photogenic. Look how adorable this dog is. Got his little scarf on there with the watermelon. So just trying to stay cool. So again, send in your pets. We will feature them through the show. Clickorlando.com/pins. But again, a nice and dry start to our morning. A mix of sunshine and clouds with temperatures in the middle 80s by 10 by lunch. We're in the upper 80s, feeling like 99 degrees, and temperatures continuing to climb. We're going to see a daytime high of 97 degrees this afternoon, feeling like the triple digits. Along our coastal areas, it's going to be hot too in the lower 90s, upper 80s, and we are looking at a moderate rip current risk if you are planning on heading out to the beaches today. Feels like temperatures, feeling like 111 in Leesburg, 108 in Claremont, 107 in Orlando and Kissimmee, and look at this, 109 in Titusville, 105 in Cocoa Beach. We are looking at some rain heading into our area later on this afternoon. Should cool things down a touch. I'll have that forecast coming up in a bit.
All right, Michelle, thank you. Breaking overnight, an hours-long standoff in Pine Hills finally comes to an end. Deputies say they opened fire on a suspect accused of stabbing the mother of his child and then holding a gun to that child's head. Now, it happened here along 6809 Colony Oaks Lane in Pine Hills. Deputies say they were called to the house in a domestic disturbance nature. When the suspect refused to surrender, a SWAT team breached the door and shot the suspect. The sheriff says they feared for the safety of the child.
The man who did this has been shot and killed. Thankfully, the baby that he was holding hostage, his own child, is okay, and we're praying for the mother, and hopefully she will survive her injuries.
The sheriff also says the deputies who fired their weapons are on paid administrative leave, which is protocol in cases like this. Turning now to the worldwide power outage yesterday. This morning, while officials say the situation is better, it's not yet at 100%. The outage impacted businesses, personal systems, and most noticeably, airlines. I feel like the airlines just can't catch a break right now. It all came from a software update by global cybersecurity firm CrowdStrike that triggered problems for Microsoft customers, which turned into hours of delays for airlines using their software. Now, these outages have had a big impact on airports across the country, including here at Orlando International. Yesterday, in total, 74 flights coming in or out of MCO were delayed and 65 were canceled. MCO airport officials say they are working with individual airlines to find a solution for travelers whose flights were impacted. Happening now, a continued push to understand mental health among peers. That's what this new first of its kind center in Orlando wants to do. And get this, it doesn't cost a thing. When it comes to mental health, there is a fight to overcome the stigma surrounding it. News 6's Treasure Roberts takes us to the facility to show us how it works and why guests leave feeling better than when they came. It's a great program. For some students, there is still a good couple of weeks left of summer vacation, but for some Brevard County students, the start of the school year is a lot closer than it was before. Earlier this year, Brevard County approved starting school in July for an elementary school that's tried a shorter summer break before. Challenger 7 Elementary School in Port St. John is preparing to start school on Monday. We spoke to some faculty who say they are excited for the change in pace.
I think the term year-round schedule, I think, turns people off because they think that they go more days. We still go the same amount of days. We just break it up and they have these small breaks in between.
Other faculty members say they are hoping that more schools in the county will consider adopting this calendar. In results 2024, President Biden is promising to return to the campaign trail even as more Democrats continue to urge him to drop out of the race for the White House. Those calls come as former President Trump is set to hold his first campaign rally today since the assassination attempt last week. CBS's Bradley Blackburn has the latest. Let's go ahead and check back in with meteorologist Michelle Morgan. Michelle, we've got feels like temperatures in the triple digits all across Central Florida today. No one's really getting a break from the heat.
No, not at all. I mean, we are in Florida, right? And it's summertime, and we've been dealing with that triple-digit heat for quite some time. Again, that feels like temperatures when you factor into humidity. I do want to talk about the dust, though. The dust has returned. It is slowly moving in from the east here, so that Saharan dust is expected to blanket the area as we go through the weekend, limiting or lowering the air quality today, tomorrow, and for the next couple of days. But it is going to lower our rain chances tomorrow afternoon. Now, currently, we're looking pretty good across Central Florida. It is a mild but dry start to our morning. If you have any early morning plans, Sanford, good morning. You're at 78 as we head to Orlando at 77, Claremont, Leesburg at 79, 73 in Wildwood, and our coastal cities 81 degrees in Cocoa Beach and 78 in Melbourne. So as we go through today, it's going to get warm very quickly, especially when that sun comes up. We're looking at those temperatures to climb into the middle to upper 90s this afternoon. If you are taking the kids out to the playground this morning, we'll see abundant sunshine through the morning. I do think things will remain pretty dry as we go through the morning hours, and then those rain chances increasing after 2-3 o'clock this afternoon. But temperatures will be in the middle to upper 80s as we go through the 10-11 11 o'clock hour, those winds staying out of the southeast between 5 to 10 miles per hour, increasing the humidity. So for the rest of Central Florida, here are your forecast highs: 97 in Orlando, 96 in Sanford, 94 in Titusville, and 90 in Cocoa Beach. And of course, your feels like temperatures here, feeling like 108 in Sanford, 107 in Orlando, and 111 degrees out in Leesburg. So it stays hot this weekend. Rain chances increase later on today. I'll time everything out coming up in my full forecast.
All right, Michelle, thank you. Coming up, the sequel to a weather fan favorite is now in theaters. How our team of meteorologists is reacting after seeing Twisters. You're watching News 6, getting results for all of Central Florida on air and on the News 6 mobile app. We'll be right back.
Don't miss Matt Austin on News 6.
It's opening weekend for the long-anticipated sequel of Twister. The new film Twisters is spinning into theaters this weekend, and for weather fanatics, we're hearing it does not disappoint. It's the sequel to the 1996 movie Twister. It finds Kate Cooper lured back into storm chasing as a swarm of tornadoes threatens Oklahoma. Daisy Edgar-Jones and Glenn Powell play competing storm chasers, and as storm season intensifies, the competing teams find themselves in a fight for their lives. Sounds pretty good. Now, for some lucky members of the News 6 team, they got the chance to see the movie early. Isn't that right, Michelle?
Yes, it was fantastic. We all enjoyed it. Of course, with our fellow colleagues across Central Florida, we all watched it. And there were a few moments where we were like,
yeah,
you know, that doesn't make sense. But it was such a great movie, especially, you know, when you know all the scientific knowledge.
Right, you got the background knowledge.
Correct. But it was action-packed. We all enjoed it.
Yeah.
And I mean, everybody.
Yeah, let's go ahead and make this picture bigger for everyone at home. Let's see if you guys can find Michelle. She's up in the top corner there. Look how much fun everyone's having. This is so great that everyone got together to watch this. So, Michelle, how did you like the movie?
I love the movie, and I also discovered Glenn Powell. So it was fantastic. Yep. It was good. Former chief meteorologist Tom Sorrells was there, so it was so nice seeing him. And, you know, everybody had a really good time. It was a great movie. I give it 2 thumbs up. I mean, even if you don't like weather, if you love like action-packed movies, it's so good. They did a great job. Even the tornadoes looked real.
It's definitely on my list of summer movies I want to see. And you wrote an article about the science behind it and how accurate it is.
Yeah, so I wrote a science. It's on clickorlando.com. There it is. Of course, from a meteorologist preview or review, you know, how accurate is the science, you know, kind of debunking a few of those things that they mentioned in the movie. But all in all, it was a wonderful movie. We all enjoyed it. Yeah, I think you'll love it. Now that I discovered Glenn Powell, of course.
Yeah, you might go back for a second or third.
I know, exactly. It was such a great movie. Anyways, let's go ahead and talk about weather. So as we take a look at the satellite and radar imagery, we're starting off pretty quiet across the peninsula. We don't have any big incoming weather system. Area of low pressure off to our north and west. It's going to stay there. But we do have an area of high pressure way off over the central Atlantic, Bermuda High. That's going to keep our winds generally out of the south and southeast today, increasing the humidity. So not only is it going to be hot, it's also going to be humid. Another thing we'll have to worry about today is that Saharan dust. It is slowly returning across the area today. You can see a little bit of that beige now moving in across our inland spots. Now, the Saharan dust will continue to move in through today and tomorrow. It's going to affect the air quality. So if you're sensitive to small particulates, dusty air, you may want to limit your time indoors or outdoors rather, because that can definitely affect you if you have asthma or any respiratory issues. The good thing about the dust is that we're going to get vibrant sunrises and sunsets this weekend and the next couple of days, and also it's going to knock down our rain chances some tomorrow. But right now, it's a pleasant start to our morning. Temperatures are starting off in the upper 70s, lower 80s. Sanford, good morning, are at 78. Orlando at 77, as well as Daytona Beach there, and then 80 degrees in Cape Canaveral. So here's a look at your hour-by-hour forecast. So I have the temperatures and also the feels like. Temperatures will be in the lower 90s by lunch, feeling like 102 degrees. By 4, 97. That's your daytime high, feeling like 106, 107. So it is going to get quite hot today, and we're actually going to be near record heat this afternoon. Forecast highs at 97, that record set back in 1986 of 98. So it's going to be hot. We're looking at Sanford at 96, DeLand at 94, and then our coastal areas, 91 in New Smyrna Beach, 92 in Daytona Beach. And also, if you're planning a beach day today, you're looking good. Morning will be nice and dry, but you may have to dodge a few showers and storms later on today. There's a look at your feels like temperatures. Find your city. That's what's going to feel like today. Very hot. So let's go ahead and time things out so you can plan your day accordingly. Nice and dry as we go through the morning. Clouds will continue to increase. The sea breezes will get going. That's our east coast and west coast sea breeze. Along that boundaries where we're going to see scattered rain, a few embedded thunderstorms producing heavy rain, lightning, and gusty winds between 40 to 50 miles per hour. Around the 8 o'clock hour, we'll continue to see scattered rain along the I-4 corridor, and then things slowly fading as we head into the overnight hours. So here's a look at your 7-day getting you results. 97 today. 60% coverage for showers and storms, 96 tomorrow with a 50%, and rain chances stay elevated all week with afternoon highs in the lower to middle 90s.
All right, Michelle, thank you. You're watching News 6, getting results for all of Central Florida on air and on the News 6 mobile app. We'll be right back.
Stay safe with meteorologist Jonathan Kegas, only on News 6.
Meteorologist Michelle Morgan joins us now. Michelle, top 2 takeaways for the weather today.
Hot. Rain.
Hot and rain.
Yeah.
So a nice little steamy combination there.
I feel like a broken record.
I bet you do.
Yeah.
Because it's like, you can only say it so many ways that it's hot and that it's going to rain.
But us Floridians, we're used to the heat.
Right.
We're used to the storms, and that's where we're going to get today. So just make sure you're weather aware after 3 o'clock this afternoon, and a few thunderstorms could produce strong winds.
All right, Michelle, thank you so much. Thanks so much for joining us this morning on News 6. CBS Saturday Morning is next. Remember, we always break news on clickorlando.com. Have a great Saturday.